Hey all, it's Kate, and today I'm going to be doing a Top 5 Wednesday. This week's topic is your least favorite books in your favorite series, which I can't rank my favorite series, so I'm just doing like series that I enjoyed. The first series I'm going to be talking about is the Harry Potter series, of course. My least favorite from that series is the Goblet of Fire. Simply because I wasn't as into the Triwizard Tournament as other people were. I mean, it was really awesome, don't get me wrong. I loved reading about it and it was really great. But I'm more into like the dark side of Harry Potter. So this kind of, this book had a lot of the light stuff, or not the light, the more happy aspects of Harry Potter, somewhat. I mean, it's still serious. It's hard to explain. I did love it. It's just not as compelling as the other parts of other books in the series. The next series I'm going to talk about is the Throne of Glass series by Sarah J. Maas. And my least favorite in this series is Heir of Fire, because at the time of reading it, I wasn't a big fan of Rowan, because I was still caught up on Kale, and I was kind of narrow-minded in that aspect. But now that I've read Queen of Shadows, I am a huge Rowan shipper, and if I reread this, I'd probably love it, and it'd probably be like my second favorite in the series after Queen of Shadows. The next series I'm going to be talking about is The Lord of the Rings by J.R.R. Tolkien, and my least favorite in that series is The Fellowship of the Ring, the first book, because there's a lot of setup in this book. The first 130 pages or so is not something that is completely vital to the plot, and it's actually not in the movie at all. So, I mean, Peter Jackson just kind of cut it out. He was like, bye-bye, not needed, and it's not needed. I'm not saying I didn't appreciate it, it's harder to get into. So for that reason, that it took me longer to get into the series because of this book. That's why it's my least favorite in the series. The next series I'm talking about is The Mortal Instruments by Cassandra Clare. It's not my favorite series by her, that's The Infernal Devices, but I don't have like a book out of The Infernal Devices that I enjoyed less than the other ones. So, but in The Mortal Instruments I do, and that's City of Fallen Angels. And I read these books 2 years ago, so it's a little fuzzy, but I just remember it being like a lull in the series before the last book where it was like, bang, I'm here, that's it. And so it was the calm before the storm. Things didn't go down yet. And I mean, I'm sure things did happen in the book, but just not as much as the next one. The last series I'm going to talk about is the Selection Trilogy by Kiera Cass. And my least favorite in that series is The Selection, the first book, again, because I really love the character drama in this book, or in this series. And this book, by far, I think had the least amount of character drama because they were just being introduced and the concept was being fleshed out. And I feel like it just gets more intense as it goes. And I know other people think that The Elite is kind of like a filler book, but I don't know. I think that was like my favorite in the series because it was very dramatic to me, but I could be the only one, I don't know. So those are all the books that are my least favorite out of series that I enjoy, and that's all for today, so I'll see you soon. Bye!